We have reached NFL Week 8. It's a big weekend. There are 8 really interesting games that I can't wait to see take place. We will see if there are any other games that grab my attention. I'm always curious. I have an open mind. Sometimes games are better than we think. But the game that I think I'm most excited for is the Patriots playing on the road at New York against the Jets. The Jets are 5-2. They've won 4 games in a row. They are 4-0 with Zach Wilson as their starting quarterback. Remember, he was injured during training camp, had minor knee surgery, came back a couple weeks ago. They're 4-0 with him as their quarterback. And on the other side, the Patriots are in a bad spot. The Patriots are 3-4. I think they have a quarterback controversy. They started Mac Jones. He played 3 series last week, 2 3-and-outs, and an interception. I think now Jets-Patriots is starting to feel like a legit rivalry game. The Patriots have dominated it for years, but the Jets look pretty good. The Patriots look like they're down bad, and I just can't wait to see what happens. Does Bailey Zappi play? Does Mac Jones have a great game? Does Mac Jones play bad? I have no idea. Also, another little storyline here is that it's one play style at quarterback with Zach Wilson who can run around and extend plays against the guy Mac Jones who's very immobile, who can't run around, cannot extend plays. A lot of storylines here that are interesting, and this one's going to be a lot of fun. Patriots at Jets. Washington plays at Indy. It's going to be very interesting. Carson Wentz on the road against his former football team that dumped him. Oh, and by the way, Indy just benched the guy they replaced him with, Matt Ryan, in favor of Sam Ehlinger. A lot of juicy drama here. Hopefully it's a fun game. Keep your eye on what kind of interaction does Frank Reich have with his former quarterback, Carson Wentz. They were really close, and I don't know that Frank Reich wanted to get rid of Carson Wentz. Did they handshake and hug? How does the owner feel about that? Because the owner, Jim Irsay, basically ran Carson Wentz out of town. I am openly rooting for Washington this weekend because I want to see Carson Wentz get revenge against the team that I think scapegoated him. They acted like Carson Wentz was the problem and all we got to do is get Matt Ryan and all our problems are going to be solved. Clearly that was absolutely wrong. And I want to see Carson Wentz throw like 7 touchdown passes and just completely embarrass Indianapolis this weekend. He might have a bad year. He might have a terrible... I don't really care. But this is the Super Bowl for Carson Wentz. And because I'm petty... Carson Wentz is hurt. Of course he is, right? But I don't think he's even playing this week. Let me look this up. I don't think Carson Wentz is playing. I saw that on the schedule. I was like, oh, good. I've been looking forward to Carson Wentz playing at Indy. I don't think Carson Wentz... I don't think he's playing this weekend. So he suffered a fractured ring finger. He's on the injured reserve, so he's... Oh my God, I did a whole segment. I gotta make a little amendment here. Carson Wentz is not playing in the Colts game, which I knew he was hurt, but I've been so excited for weeks to see Carson play at Indy. He's not even gonna play. Of course he's hurt. Oh my gosh. Carson Wentz, man. What does he do well? He's not very accurate. He's not a great athlete. He's never healthy. I've been excited for this Carson Wentz revenge game for since the trade is announced. We're not going to see it. Okay. I'm genuinely sad about that. Dang it, man. Oh, that's so sad. And I think the genuine realization is kind of funny. So I'll leave this in. I'll have to go back and splice this into the preview. But dang it, man. I cannot believe Carson Wentz isn't playing against Indy, man. I wanted to see... I literally have been waiting all year for Carson Wentz at Indy. And I knew he got hurt, but I forgot he's on the IR and he's not going to play. Oh, man. Taylor Heinicke gets Sam Ehlinger. That's the matchup. Great. Wow. So excited for that game. Actually, I legitimately am. I think Sam Ehlinger is interesting. How's he going to play? I don't know. We'll find out. But man, am I bummed. I wanted Carson to get revenge against his former team, and he won't. How about Giants at Seattle? The Giants are 6-1. They've won 4 games in a row. The question is, can they keep winning? Because Seattle's pretty decent. They're a good football team. A lot of young players. Their rookie draft class is incredible. Game is at Seattle. That's a long flight for New York. And I love watching Seattle's quarterback, Geno Smith. I think this game, Giants at Seattle, is going to be fun and interesting and full of good storylines and just a really compelling game that hopefully is going to have a good finish because I would love... This is a game I'm going to circle and going to watch for sure, and I just really, really hope it's good. Packers at Buffalo is big. It's Sunday Night Football. It's interesting because Green Bay's in trouble. Green Bay is probably going to lose and fall to 3-5. They've never lost 5 games during the regular season under their head coach, currently Matt LaFleur. They went 13-3, 13-3, then 13-4 last year with a game added. If they lose here, then Green Bay is locked into having the worst record they've ever had under Matt LaFleur. Green Bay is also really limited at receiver. So it's Sunday Night Football. Josh Allen is fun to watch. I'm going to watch this game. It's going to be awesome, but I don't know that the Packers are going to win. In fact, I think the Packers are in trouble. I reserve the right to see what happens because maybe Aaron Rodgers surprises people in this game and somehow finds a way to win because he's still Aaron Rodgers. But being Aaron Rodgers hasn't done great for him so far this year. Like, I don't think he can save the Packers. I think they need legitimately a lot more receiving weapons, and we'll see what happens. But I think my prediction here, obviously, is that Buffalo is going to beat Green Bay on Sunday Night Football. In fact, let's commit to that. I'm predicting they're going to win, and I'd be very surprised if Buffalo lost, actually, at home to a much less talented Green Bay team. Miami at Detroit is interesting. I think we could see an offensive explosion from the Miami Dolphins. Tua throwing to Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle against a really bad defense in Detroit, literally in Detroit, because they're at Detroit on the road. I just keep our eye on that game. I think Tua could just absolutely dominate and have a great, beautiful game, and we'll see what happens. I'd love to see Jared Goff fight back, and maybe we'll see a shootout, 45-42 or something like that. Last-second field goal wins, but I think Miami's going to have a great, great offensive day on the road this week at Detroit. Bears against Dallas is really interesting. Chicago made progress on offense last week on Monday Night Football against the New England Patriots. Justin Fields played well. I'm hoping to see the Bears offense continue and get better. They got a tough task here because Dallas has a good defense and particularly a good pass rush. So you're not going to be able to see the Bears keep Justin Fields in the pocket and have success at all. Last week against New England, they did a great job moving the pocket, calling bootlegs, calling sprint outs, getting Justin Fields on the move and on the perimeter. They're going to have to do that this weekend, and it still might not be enough. My fear is that we're going to see Justin Fields get hit a ton and get dominated, but it's a science experiment. I cannot wait to see what happens between Chicago and Dallas, particularly the Bears offense against the Dallas defense. Plus, it's Dak Prescott, the Cowboys quarterback, against a pretty solid Bears defense. So all around, Bears at Dallas is a really, really fun matchup in my opinion. We also have Arizona at Minnesota. The Vikings are 5-1 coming off of their bye week, so they've had a lot of time to prepare for this game. And Arizona needs this win, man. Arizona's 3-4. I'm curious what kind of impact Arizona receiver DeAndre Hopkins is going to make in this game. But it feels like a big game. I hope it's dramatic. I hope it's fun. Has a great ending. But Arizona, man, 3-4, season on the line, in my opinion. You can't follow the 3-5. I think that's a really bad hole. I want to see. I don't really care if Arizona wins or not, but they got to play well and they got to be really competitive. And if they're not, and then the losing continues, eventually I think they're going to end up firing their head coach, Cliff Kingsbury. So this could be a turning point one way or the other for Arizona and how their season goes the rest of the year. The Raiders play at New Orleans. The Raiders are 2-4. Every loss has been by one score or less for the Raiders, and the Saints are 2-5. They're starting Andy Dalton at quarterback. Who is he still their backup? Like, is Jameis hurt or are they just benching him? It's really unclear what's going on in New Orleans. Their quarterback situation is a mess. They need a new quarterback. They've got problems everywhere. New Orleans is down as a team. So I am looking for the Raiders to show they're better than their 2-4 record would suggest. Hey, you lost a bunch of close games, but they got talent. I think they're a good football team. Let's see what happens with the Raiders at New Orleans. I want to see the Raiders win here. Two teams have a bye week this week during NFL Week 8. Kansas City doesn't play, and the LA Chargers do not play. They need it badly. LA needs to get healthy. How about, here's a fun title for this game. Weird Wilson Goes to London. That'd be the movie if we made a movie about this trip. The Broncos play Jacksonville in London. Both teams are 2-5. And I want to see Trevor Lawrence and the Jaguars do well and win here. It's a great opportunity for the Jaguars to win. Russell Wilson, he's going to start. The guy is just a weirdo. Like, he just seems totally unrelatable, and the working out on the plane story, you can justify it. You know, he's committed to the craft, but to be working out in the aisle while your teammates are sleeping, I hope that report is vastly overrated and not quite what we think. Like, maybe we don't have the full story. Someday, though, when it's all said and done and Russ leaves Denver, we're going to start hearing about what really went on with Russ in Denver, and I don't think it's all good. So, keep your eye on this game just because it's bad and interesting what's going on with Russell Wilson in Denver. You got the Steelers at Philly. I always like watching the Pittsburgh Steelers rookie quarterback, Kenny Pickett. He's fun. He's exciting. I love the guy. Plus, on the other side, Philly is really good. They're 6-0. Philly's fun to watch all around. They run the ball creatively and in fun ways. Jalen Hurts is one of my favorite quarterbacks in the NFL. It's an interesting game, and the question is, can Philly stay undefeated? They can for sure. They can win this game. But I want to see what's Pittsburgh made of. Can Pittsburgh challenge a really good Philadelphia team? We'll see what happens. And is Robert Quinn going to play? Is an interesting storyline. Robert Quinn plays defensive line. I would imagine there's not a lot to learn in the playbook for defensive linemen. Not really. I think he can come in and play week 1 and make an impact at first week with his new team, and we'll see what happens there. Titans at Texans is not that interesting to me. Tennessee at Houston, I guess it's the best team, Tennessee, in that division against probably the worst team in the division, Houston. But the gap isn't that crazy big anyway. Tennessee, they started 0-2. Now they're 4-2. They've won 4 in a row. I'd be disappointed, to be honest, if Tennessee lost this game because I think they're going to win the division and they're on a good trajectory. And a 5-game winning streak would be really cool for the Houston Texans, or the Tennessee Titans. A 5-game winning streak would be great for them. 49ers at Rams is a solid matchup. Both teams have 3 wins. What I'm pumped about in this game is to watch Christian McCaffrey after a week of practice with the 49ers. I think Christian McCaffrey is going to play even more than he did last week and have a little more of an impact. Atlanta against Carolina. Atlanta, they're 3-4. Carolina is 2-5. I believe the winner ends up first in the the NFC South, this division. But if Atlanta and Marcus Mariota wins, they'll be 4-4 and will have a better record than Tampa. They'll be first in that division. I like that thought. I like Marcus Mariota. I'm openly rooting for them. I want to see Atlanta win here and give Tampa a run for their money down the stretch as the year goes on. Monday Night Football is Cincinnati at the Browns, the last game I need to talk about. The Bengals need to win to keep competing with the Ravens in this division. But it's a fun opportunity, I think, to watch Joe Burrow play. His top receiver, Jamar Chase, is not going to play. He's injured and going to miss 4 to 6 weeks with a hip injury. So keep her on that. How does Joe Burrow play without Jamar Chase? But Bengals, Browns, they've played a lot of good, fun, exciting games in the last couple of years. I think this could be another one. The battle for Ohio is actually regularly a competitive, fun game, especially no Jamar Chase. I don't think it's a shoo-in that Cincinnati wins this game on Monday night. And I'm hoping for an interesting, good game.